too. Oh, yo, you want some too? Yeah? I've been hearing it's been a pretty good game during this quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have come out at a better time, you know, with quarantine and all.
With how uncertain everything is, we're just trying to make the best of it.
It's going to boost a certain level of technology we probably never had.
Necessity is the mother of all invention, right?
Welcome back to Esports Times, Age of Coronavirus. We're here talking with Daphne Love. She is a 5-year competitive gamer for a little game called Killer Queen, and I'm very curious about this. What is Killer Queen?
So Killer Queen is a 10-player arcade game, sort of like an indie game. It was made around 2014, and it's a game where you have 2 teams of 5. There's 3 ways to win, and it's a lot of strategy, communication, like team building exercises and things like that. So it's kind of hard to explain through words. Like you would really have to like look it up and see. But it's essentially like a really awesome 10-player arcade game that I took a nosedive into, and it's consumed my life. So
How did you get into video games?
honestly, it was just watching my sister play like Super Mario World when I was really young. Like when she would play it and like the music would play like at the very end and he would like fall from the sky, I was just like just mesmerized. Like I just couldn't take my eyes off of it. And I mean, I don't know, I was like kind of a spoiled kid. Like if I wanted a video game, my parents would just kind of get it for me. So I would just play like Sega, like Jurassic Park on Sega,
Oh man,
like
Jurassic Park on
PlayStation,
Sega.
Dreamcast. Yes, Jurassic Park.
That was the hardest
Sega.
game I've ever played. It scared the
I
shit
never
out of
finished
me.
It was horrible. Well, you got to play the dinosaur. You never play the human.
Oh, you're talking about the Rampage one. You had the first one. The first one came out. It was just you could only play the human. It was Alan Grant.
Yeah.
And then they came out with another one. It was like a year later, and it was Rampage, and that you could either play Grant or you could play the Raptor.
You would always pick the Raptor, obviously. You would just go in there and just kill everyone.
He like was doing backflips and shit, and you know, it was great.
Yeah, and I would be playing that game literally like in first grade. My mom is like doing my hair, and I'm like playing Jurassic Park. So you know, I got into gaming at a very, very young age, and it just never went away.
You live in Brooklyn. Actually, just moved out of Brooklyn, so I'm in Queens. But how's everything going over there with COVID?
It seems pretty normal. There are people outside. We're just, you know, when you walk down the sidewalk, people are keeping their distance, and I do respect that. It makes me a little bit happy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just inside most of the time.
And you're playing Killer Queen inside.
Well, that's the thing. So
yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah, because it's an arcade game. There are 2 physical big cabinets. So yeah, so each team of 5, they're opposite of each other and they have a shared screen. So it's a game that you physically have to go to. So they'll usually have it in bars. In New York, we have them at Queen's Brewery, which is a large brewery in Ridgewood. And we have it at Wonderville, which is an amazing indie arcade bar that was Kickstarter funded in Bushwick. And then Killer Queen is also in some like tech offices. People like have like their own Killer Queen cabs like at their jobs. But yeah, so it sucks because I can't play it. I can't play it.
Well, it's hard being an old school gamer. Very hard.
It's rough.
It's rough.
It's really rough. We're coping though. The community is really amazing. So the thing is with Killer Queen, even though I'm sure most people haven't heard of it, it actually has a pretty large following. So it's in multiple states throughout the country, just in the US for right now at least.
Maybe they'll come out with a non-physical Killer Queen.
There is actually a Killer Queen version at home that you can play. It's called Killer Queen Black. It's not the same, but still a good game.
Yeah.
but I think I'm sort of like a Killer Queen arcade purist. I only just play that one.
It's the joysticks and the buttons and all that.
Yeah, it's literally just one joystick, one button.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be shocked like how much tech you can do with just those two things, but I won't go into it.
Well, what games are you playing now?
I'm playing a lot of Animal Crossing, actually.
I've been hearing it's been a pretty good game during this quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have come out at a better time, you know, with quarantine and all, because I have friends that are not gamers that are playing Animal Crossing. So it's a great way for me to just like keep in touch with them and connect with them, even though I can't physically see them.
So a little birdie told me that you're really diving into conceptual artwork for games.
Yeah, well, I would like to dive into it. But yeah, I've not only am I taking all this time I have now to like get all my gaming in, but I'm just trying to really stay focused and work on my portfolio so that when I come out of it, I'll have like a body of work so that when I do start applying for those jobs, if they're ever available, I can have a portfolio to show.
Well, how are you creating that portfolio? Are you basing it off of previous games, or are you like trying to kind of being more creative and coming up with just all kinds of stuff?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking a more creative approach. Like I want to have a portfolio of just original character designs that would be good in a video game. So obviously like characters that I are making are very similar looking to characters that you would see in a video game. So I'm obviously taking elements from things that I like and putting them in the things that I'm doing. But between that, people see the things that I do, and I'm actually getting a lot of commissions now. So I have to like now pause my portfolio work and get commissions done because I'm like not at work right now. So I like need to make money somehow. So yeah, so I'm doing commissions, and people, because they see the style I do, usually just are like, do whatever you want, I don't care, make it cool, or here's my dog, like make my dog like look like cyberpunk or something like that, because you know that's sort of like the style I like to do. So yeah, definitely just trying to get it together and just make it look really nice and packaged for when I get out, get a job.
Well, it sounds like you're really close to developing a game. So let's say you have all the power to just come up with a story for a game. What would it be?
Oh God. If I could just come up with a story for a game, I would definitely want some kind of like interdimensional sort of like game in like space where you can visit different planets, but also have it be like an RPG, like very like story driven, like kind of like Romeo Juliet in space. Like think of like Saga, like that graphic novel Saga, but in a video game with like different characters that are all like represented by planets and stuff like that. It's based on like a, I guess, story I wrote years ago that I never finished, but I had thoughts that if it was a game, it would look really cool, and I would make all the characters.
What would it be called?
Oh crap! I don't know. I haven't written the ending, so I don't know.
We're here talking with Ivan Iglesias. Ivan is the CEO and co-owner of Global Speedrun Association. GSA is a host of a variety of speedrun competitions, some of which include people with world records with such games as Super Mario 64. Now tell us, Ivan, how fast are we talking?
So for Super Mario 64 specifically, the fastest time to just beat the game period, I believe, is under 5 minutes. It might even be 4 minutes. The reason I say I believe is because there's a bunch of different ways to play Super Mario 64 as a speed game. The most popular category being where you get all 120 stars, and the time for that is under an hour 40. So both really impressive feats, and these guys go fast, the world record holders.
So tell us how you started this.
Yeah, so around late 2015, I stumbled across Twitch, and on the front page, they have like a bunch of different recommended streams, and I saw Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which is my favorite game ever, and I was like, oh, somebody is streaming this, like why, like this 20-year-old game or whatever it was, and so I clicked on it, and I saw it was somebody speedrunning it. And they were performing all these glitches, insane tricks I had never heard about, and they were just destroying the game in front of my eyes, and I was hooked immediately. After speedrunning myself for a few years and kind of making some friends in the community, the Mario 64 community specifically, in 2018, some friends and I, we were talking how, there's so many cool things going on with speedrunning, the charity events, people just hanging out in Discord calls all the time, like practicing or doing races and stuff like that. And me and my one friend, Steven, specifically Steven Adams, who is also a co-founder and CEO with me, we talked about how, we both had this kind of idea for competitive speedrunning. There was some stuff going on with it already with the channel called Speed Gaming. They host a ton of really cool events and tournaments. And we were like, well, like, what if there was some kind of like a league for it, or like a different kind of competitive format that was maybe like trying to push it to a bigger scale, I guess. And so that's kind of where it all started. And so now, yeah, that's how we started GSA, the Global Speedrun Association, and that's kind of been our main priority, is hosting competitive speedrunning events, kind of exploring different formats and turning those into live events as well, to kind of give speedrunners a different avenue to compete in speedrunning than just grinding on their own and trying to beat world records.
How do you make it different?
The traditional way to make speedrunning competitive has been doing races. Kind of, let's say me and you decide on a goal of a certain game. We beat the game as fast as possible. 3, 2, 1,
Right.
go. And the first person to do that wins. There are kind of varieties of it. There are sometimes sometimes people participate in this thing called bingo, where there are like more kind of random goals that you kind of on the fly improvise. There's randomizers as well that obviously randomize a bunch of items and things that happen in the game. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, and the main way that we have focused is the racing aspect of it, of popular categories of popular games,
Right.
to kind of have the biggest and most competitive, I guess, pool of players from these games, and it's been a lot of fun.
Now, how many players have you been able to corral?
Yeah, so it depends on the game, really. For some tournaments, for example, for Mario Maker 2 right now, we host monthly tournaments in this thing called versus mode, where players are physically in the same level. They get a bunch of random levels, and they're like physically in the same level, trying to like kill each other, throw each other off, and like get to the goal as fast as possible. And
Right.
for those, we get like 30 people. Sometimes
Wow.
we have the cap at 32, and we hit those pretty quickly, and these are again monthly events. And then for our speedrunning leagues, we kind of handpick and also run qualifiers for 12 spots for each of these leagues that we run. So we have one for Mario 64, one for Celeste, which is an indie game in case you don't know, and we've had one for Mario Odyssey, one for Mario Kart Double Dash. So we've been kind of all over the place, and for each speed game, we have these kind of select group of highly competitive people that compete for months at a time.
What's been the most fun competition so far for you?
For me, the most fun competition, I would say the season 1 of our Mario 64, Celeste, and Mario Odyssey leagues, mainly because they ran for 4 months. Like week in, week out, people would be competing against different runners. And then at the end of it, it all kind of climaxed at our first live event, which was called Pace, and that was in May of last year. And we were supposed to have another Pace in May, but unfortunately, due to everything going on, it got canceled. We were super excited for it because we were projected to more than double our attendance from the first event. And we also had some other plans for things that are kind of up in the air right now. They are a little bit later in the year, but with how uncertain everything is, we're just doubling down on everything that we do online and just trying to make the best of it, kind of like everyone else in the situation.
How are you trying to handle the uncertainty for yourself?
For myself, just kind of accepting that there's nothing we can do about it, but focus on the positives, focus on what we can do, and keep running things online, trying to make that as best as possible. to then set ourselves up for when we can run our next live events to make them even better and really come back strong. So yeah, just accepting and going forward.
Oh, where do you see the speed running going in about 10 to 15 years? How is that growth going to expand? Or is it going to go the other way?
Yeah, that's a really fun question. I think everything points towards it being bigger and just developing. In what way, I'm not sure. My gut feeling is either something, well, and obviously I'm a little biased here, something with competitive speedrunning to really take off. Whether I think there's a few groups now, including ourselves, ESA, the European Speedrunners Assembly, and Speed Gaming. We're all kind of pushing to and trying different things to figure out, like, how can we make competitive speedrunning, although it is already a lot of fun and successful in its own way, how do we keep pushing it? How do we provide more opportunities for these runners and make it better and get more eyes on it? So I think my gut feeling and obvious bias is that it'll be something with competitive speedrunning. Obviously, the flagship right now for speedrunning is still the big charity events, namely Games Done Quick. That's no secret. And then also kind of the narrative content and storytelling that we see on YouTube for a lot of these speedrunning videos, like Summoning Salt comes to mind. Those are getting tons of new eyes on speedrunning because those videos are so interesting and they're great stories about these speed games. So speedrunning has a lot going for it. In 10 to 15 years, maybe some big production company sees the attention and potential that there is in speedrunning and makes some kind of big show or about speedrunning on whatever platform it is at the time, or again, something with competitive speedrunning. That's obviously my personal hope. So,
Ivan, thank you so much for joining us today and getting us your take on GSA. My good friend Ivan Iglesias has really inspired me to do my own Mario speedrun. So let's give it a whirl. All right. World 1. Nice, a star. Got you, fellas, got you. Boom, a cinch. It's very easy to do the original one, but maybe we should do the Lost Levels. I heard that one's pretty tough. The original Super Mario Bros. 2. Not the one that was released in America, but the one that was released in Japan. Yeah. Pop that. Get that sucker up. Oh, come on. Oh, shit. Just get the mushroom. No. Damn turtles. One of these days I'm going to get that mushroom. Oh my, every time. No! One last run through. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get that mushroom. Everything's gonna be peaches and cream. Truly is the Lost Levels. Truly. Should be lost. Almost there, almost there, almost there, almost there! I got through one level. One level. All right, welcome back. We're here with Tree Boy Dave. He is an ESR partner. He also holds the record for the highest level player of Overwatch in the world. Please welcome Tree Boy Dave. How you doing over there in the UK? Are y'all holding up?
Yeah, my job was a non-essential business, so that means I'm at home all day. But because the government has been nice, they've been giving businesses money to pay their employees. So I've still been getting my paycheck every single month. Well, every week, because I get paid weekly. But so there's no pressure on me right now. The real question is, how long is that money going to last?
How long do you think this is going to last?
At least the rest of the year, I'd say. By the looks of it. Because from what they say, we're not going to get a vaccine probably until the spring of next year. And until that point, things may have to stay locked down. It entirely depends, country by country, how many people end up getting it and what percentage of the workforce can viably go back to work.
When it comes to humans, the information is only as good as the speed in which we process that information.
There's a big difference between data and information as well. There's many ways of interpreting data, and you can make data in a way say anything you want if you twist it enough. So you get countries like China who are trying to spin everything in a positive light, even when they get things horribly wrong. And they're very keen to try and obfuscate the facts that don't agree with their narrative. So I think a lot of countries will be more wary of trusting China in the future.
100%.
And that's pretty damaging, really, for the global economy in general. There are so many countries that are just so unwilling to work together for the better good. They're far too selfish in general. China wants China to be number one, and it's always had a grudge against America because America's got the biggest economy, not China, and China's really angry and wants the biggest economy and like, stop it. So they try to undermine the US at every single opportunity they can without officially declaring war, because that wouldn't go well for anyone. Troubling times ahead for a lot of people, and not just the virus. The whole global economy is taking a big hit from this thing and will continue to. It's certainly, I think esports is one of the industries that won't be impacted a huge amount. The in-person events, of course, have to be postponed and delayed and cancelled until this whole thing is over. But that doesn't mean people can't continue playing the games, because they can do that from the comfort of their own home. I'm curious to see if any conventions, gaming conventions, go online in virtual form. So you buy like a ticket to get access to the panels or the content that they've created. So it's like a virtual convention. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, as with anything really. You've also got things like a lot of small businesses are going to go out of business, which will certainly consolidate some industries into larger entities, which could be a problem going forward. Larger entities are usually harder to stop if they're doing something naughty. So if you look at companies like Amazon and Walmart, they have to be strong-armed into doing the right thing a lot of the time if they aren't paying their employees enough, for example. So it'll be this decade, starting off with a global pandemic, that's going to shape the whole decade to come.
It's going to boost a certain level of technology we've probably never had.
Necessity is the mother of all invention, right?
What kind of changes are you anticipating that the new Overwatch would have, or what would you like to see?
I'm definitely excited about the PvE modes, the story mode, and the hero missions, because those are my thing. The hero progression sounds good, where you can enhance all the heroes' abilities and make them super overpowered, because, hey, the enemies you're fighting, they can't complain, so it's fine.
What are your thoughts on the current way the rank is handled?
I've heard a lot of positive things about the hero bans. We're enjoying how dynamic it is now, where 1 week you get a certain sort of meta starting to develop, and then boom, it changes again, and you have to switch things up. And some weeks one hero is super overpowered because all their counters got banned, and everyone has to deal with this hero just wrecking stuff all the time and try to figure out how to deal with it, and then it all changes up again. I heard that the newest hero, Echo, just got banned out of the open queue competitive mode in the arcade. So people are whinging about that now. I really like Echo. She's really fun. And for a hero that's super versatile as well, because I've got 250 hours of every single hero except for Echo. I think this hero is perfect for my kind of situation, where I've got tons of experience on all the heroes. it's like I've been practicing for Echo for 4 years, and now I can actually play it. So it's quite good. I like it. And I've been doing pretty well on her, I think. I've been dishing out a large amount of damage, getting a load of kills, and not dying a whole lot. So I feel like part of me is saying, yeah, you're doing really well because she's overpowered and she needs a nerf. And then the other part of me is saying, but what if you're actually good at her? So I don't know what it is yet. I guess we'll find out.